Good morning, Kingdom. My name is Sister Jennifer Cheeks, and I am here as leadership of Health Awareness Team, the Emergency Response Team, just to give you an overview of our celebration today for breast cancer awareness and domestic violence awareness. With breast cancer awareness, as you know, mortality is 40% higher in Black women, though only 12% of us will ever get the disease. So it is very important for you all to get your mammograms, do your self-exams, men, you as well. Just get in with your doctor so that you can be checked and we can get this going. And as a 4-year breast cancer survivor, it's very important to my heart. Also, today we're celebrating domestic violence. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience physical violence by intimate partner. 45% of Black women and 40% of Black men have reported domestic violence. Women ages 18 to 34 experience the highest incidence. Ladies, men, if you are in an unhealthy relationship, if you are experiencing any hurt or you are in any danger, please don't hesitate to go to an associate pastor. Go to Pastor Tim. We even have social workers and therapists here in the sanctuary, in the congregation, that can help you out. You can talk to Elder Joanne Rowan, Minister Gigi Pickett, Sister Tiffany Farmer. Go to anybody to seek help. There's ways that we can get you to safe places. There's things that we can get into place to help you out. And right now, we will have one of our own, Minister Jamil Anderson, to give her testimony. Thank you.
My name is Minister Jamil Anderson. I'm currently serving as the Minister of Music here. I give leadership to all things music, band, sound, things of that nature. So yeah, I am very excited and honored to serve in the area of music in Kingdom Fellowship. So I am here today to share my testimony of being a domestic violence abuse survivor. Me, Jamil, the one that smiles all the time, the one that hugs. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and my testimony is very simple. I am a pastor's daughter. All my life I've been in church. I've sang all my life. Pretty well known amongst people that I know. And I met a gentleman, and I was young, and he was a lot older than I was, and I loved him. I fell in love, and it did not start off as abuse. It was a very loving relationship. He was older than I was, as I said, so I was just engulfed in who he was, and it started off very subtle. It was more of the yelling, and I remember because we used to argue. I didn't think anything about it until one day he actually choked me. He choked me, and I could not believe that that had just happened to me. It's stuff that you only see on TV. I mean, you just never would think someone who knew love of family and of my parents and of church and people around me would experience something like that. And of course, I got the apologies of it'll never happen again, and I'm so sorry, you don't deserve it. And it was just that vicious cycle that, scientists and researchers have showed us what it was, where it starts off good, then the violence happens, and then apologies, and then you go back to the good place. And it was just a vicious cycle for 4 years of domestic violence. And it was not in front of my child, but she was there. And I remember there would be times where I would sleep in my living room with her on our couch with a bat because I just didn't know how he would come in to the house. And it was very scary. And I prayed a lot. I hid it a lot too. I was still going to church. I was still working. I was still being a mother, and I was still acting like everything was okay. But I was withdrawn from people. I sung in the gospel choir, and I stopped singing in that choir, and I just really withdrew from people. I didn't know what was happening. I just thought that I was in this relationship, and I knew that it's not anything that I had seen, but it's just I thought that's the way it was supposed to be because that's what love was. And I didn't really love myself, so it was very difficult to work through, to get through. There were lots of scary situations, And the person that you see today was not the person that you saw over 20 years ago. I was very fragile, because it was a cycle. It happened more than once. And I remember that there was a time where um, he had a rage fit of rage and was driving in Shawnee Park in the car with me and my daughter at like 80 miles per hour in my car, and had threatened to run into a tree. And through the grace of God, he let us out, and we walked from Shawnee Park all the way to 30th and Muhammad Ali to a friend's house. And I didn't even mind that I was walking that night with my child. It was just I was thankful to be alive. And there are a lot of situations that I could share, but God provided deliverance. I mean, I know people who don't always make it out. In fact, the friend's house that I walked to, she actually succumbed to domestic violence. Her husband actually killed her. And I think about that, how God spared my life, even though He chose to not allow her to continue to live. He allowed me to live. So that let me know that I still had purpose. And so God provided deliverance. He was actually arrested for something that was unrelated to me, and went to prison. And in those years of him being in prison, God began to work on me and show me who I was. And through music, I was learning who I was. I was learning how to love me through His word. I was learning how to be a better person. And right before he got arrested, we actually had a child. He was a boy. His name was Josiah. And about 5 days after he was born, that's when he got arrested. So I went through everything I went through as far as losing Josiah by myself. But I didn't have to have that space of being fearful of my life. I knew I was going to be safe. I knew my child was going to be safe. And I thank God for that. So on the other side of it, I know that I dress up and I, look pretty and I do this and I do that. But all in all, it's only by the grace of God that I was able to make it out and realize my own worth and what I deserve. I didn't have to go through that. And so I'm thankful now also that I can help other people. There have been young women who have come to me and they know that I am a survivor, and I've been able to share with them. We've had symposiums here at church a couple of times. So there are resources available for people who are survivors of domestic abuse. But there is a moment, it's not easy. So people say, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave them alone? It's not that easy. It's fear. It's not even love, because that's what happened with me. It wasn't even love at the end. It was fear. What am I going to do? How is he going to react? Am I going to live to see another day? What's going to happen to my child? So there was a lot of things that I had to consider. And I'm just thankful that God provided deliverance for me. And every moment that I have, I just give God praise. We were singing earlier, for every mountain. It's really mountain. It was a huge mountain in my life. The pastor's daughter, the singer, who is really living in the shadows of pain and darkness and violence. And so I'm thankful that I was brought out. I'm thankful that my daughter is doing well. She's in college. She heard stuff. She never saw anything. But I'm thankful that God has given her a peace of mind to know that even though her mom was experiencing those things, and it's not what she deserves, and she's able to have a stable life as well. So I'm just thankful to have a testimony to tell. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll tell anybody I'm wearing purple in honor of domestic violence, pink too, because of breast cancer awareness. But I'm thankful that I am a survivor and I'm here today, and it's only the grace of God.